Welcome to A Slice of Bacon, a podcast about movies and television, but mostly movies. It's April 11th, 2016, and today I discuss the new trailers for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Suicide Squad, and follow up on this past weekend's box office results. First, in this past Friday's episode, I mistakenly referred to Felicity Jones as Felicity Williams. Jones is in Rogue One, while Williams is someone I do not know. Honest mistake, but I meant Felicity Jones. And now, as always, if you like this podcast or even tolerate it, you can like it on Facebook at facebook.com/ASOB podcast, or just search A Slice of Bacon podcast on the top of any Facebook page. Again, the URL is facebook.com/ASOB podcast. And be sure to subscribe to, if you're not already, this podcast on iTunes. And if you're so inclined, please leave a rating and a review. Every little bit counts, and I hope each episode is an improvement on the last. Finally, I want your listener questions. Want my thoughts on a trailer or news story I might have missed? Would you like to know more about me and my movie habits? Do you just want to hear your name spoken by yours truly? If so, you can find me on Twitter at BaconRelatedPun or via email at sliceofbaconpod@gmail.com. Now, on to the trailers. With the MTV Movie Awards on last night, a couple new trailers for highly anticipated films appeared online. The first was for J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is very loosely based on a companion book of the same name, released in 2001. The film tells the story of Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne, who, in 1920s New York City, accidentally releases magical creatures into a non-magical world and must find them before wizard-muggle relations get too tense. The new trailer for Fantastic Beasts finally gives us a bit of a look at the story and the characters. Now, I have to give a shout-out for the beginning of the trailer, which talks about Hogwarts and Dumbledore in the voiceover. It's a small thing, but it connects the worlds and makes you realize that this is a part of the same universe. Also, one thing that's great is that J.K. Rowling is the writer of this film. There have been a lot of good movies written by the writers of the original books. Another one I can think of is Perks of a Wallflower. So I'm hoping that this keeps in the tradition and J.K. Rowling can actually write a good screenplay. Redmayne looks a lot of fun. It's great to see him in a more mainstream role. I really liked him in The Danish Girl. I really enjoyed him in his one last year where he played the scientist. Gosh, I wish I could remember that right now. I should probably look these things up before I tape these. But when Eddie Redmayne played, I'm gonna remember it eventually, and it's probably gonna be after the end of this episode. But his roles have been great. Beside Jupiter Ascending, which I haven't seen, I've heard horrible things. I've seen clips that looked bad, but it's nice to see him in a fun role that is mainstream. And the name is Stephen Hawking. He was in that Stephen Hawking movie. There we go. I can't wait to see the magical beasts that the title hints at. It's probably going to be a flying creature as seen by the logo of the movie. And I also really like that this is a period piece. It looks like the 20s, but it has this magical element that we've seen in the Harry Potter films. And it's very unique. We haven't seen many period pieces that have a supernatural element. Even superhero movies have gone for modern takes. Captain America, the First Avenger, that took place in during World War II, and that was great. But I would like to see more stuff done in this time period, or before the 50s, before the 70s, in the 60s, in this case the 20s, where you have a supernatural element. I mean, there is a lot of fodder there. So I can't wait to see another trailer either. Some of the effects looked unfinished, like the platypus, or whatever that animal was. It looked like a platypus. Some of the acting was kind of Colin Farrell, I don't know. The teaser tag was terrible. I don't know the name of the guy who played opposite Eddie Redmayne in that scene. I've seen him in a ton of stuff. I think his name is Dan Fogler. Yeah, Dan Fogler. And I'm not a big fan of his acting. I'm not a big fan of the roles he's been in. I find him very unfunny. I find him very grating. And that teaser and the trailer tag was just kind of stupid. It left a bad taste in my mouth, even though the rest of the trailer was great, and I'm still looking forward to seeing the next trailer and the movie itself. Now, the second trailer was one for Suicide Squad. This kept the pattern of wonderful editing to fun music, and it had a better look at the character dynamics. Suicide Squad takes a look at the team of villains as they save the world from an unknown but powerful threat. And this trailer had a big focus on the Joker. Jared Leto looks like he's going to make a good Joker. That being said, I was not a huge Heath Ledger fan. Everyone loves his Joker. Everyone thinks he did a great job. I thought he did good for the movie. His acting performance was no better or worse than Christian Bale's in that film, but he did not do it for me. I don't want to say it's that he got extra credit because of his death, because that's not true, but I do think that the Dark Knight trilogy is overrated. Christopher Nolan's a great director, but as a superhero film goes, I find that trilogy very overrated. Batman Begins actually does not hold up very well. As for the rest of the trailer, we had heard rumors of reshoots in the last couple of weeks to add humor, but this trailer had a lot of humor in it, a lot of humor we hadn't seen in the last trailer. There's more action in this one, and it all looks good. The cast looks like they work well together. The person I was most worried about, Will Smith, actually looks enjoyable in this. He has a couple of funny lines in the trailer. Margot Robbie looks great. I didn't think she wouldn't. She's a great actress, and I would like to see her in more things after this. It was interesting to see that Batman is in this film. It looks like as soon as Batman v Superman came out, the people at WB realized, okay, anything that we have Batman in, we need to showcase. So they showcased him in at least one scene. There was a couple shots of a person in a bat suit jumping into the water. The figure looked a little bit too slender to be Batman. So I don't know what that's all about, but they were trying to go for a bit of a Batman motif. I am very excited for this film, and I'm definitely going to go see it when it comes out. I don't think it's going to be bad at all. I think it's going to be a great, great film for WB and their DC universe. With that, it's time to look back at the weekend box office, where things were very crazy. The Boss came in first at $23.4 million, while Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice came in second place at $23.4 million. Actually, The Boss came in exactly at $23,480,000, while Dawn of Justice came in at $23,435,000. There was only about $45,000 difference. In third place was Zootopia at $14.3 million. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 at fourth place with $6.4 million. And Hardcore Henry in fifth place with $5 million. That was a very surprising list for me. I had Hardcore Henry at fourth and My Big Fat Greek Wedding at fifth, though I am not upset to see that Hardcore Henry did worse than I expected. I've heard terrible things about the film's gender politics in the film and its writing. I've heard that it's a very male-oriented film. It's like a young teenager's wet dream. That said, I've also heard great things about its technical achievements. But when there's horrible writing and you treat women badly in a film, I think that should be more important than how good a film looks. Especially one like Hardcore Henry, where from the trailers, I could not get a sense of the story. I like first-person shooters. I like games. I like watching people play video games sometimes online. But the reason I enjoy that is not because I enjoy just watching somebody shoot other people. The games I've watched are ones that have a story, and I don't have time to be playing video games and watch the story of all these games. So I have to watch other people play the games if I want to know the story. A good example is Dark Souls 3. I'm watching a playthrough of that game right now online, the Game Grumps. And I like the personalities who are playing it, but I'm never going to play Dark Souls 3. But I want to check out the game because it looks cool. And I think that this culture of people watching games, the studios have taken the wrong thing from that. They think that kids just want to watch other people play a first-person shooter, when that's not the case. People like the personalities who are playing the games, and they like the story of the games that those personalities are playing. But I digress. That is a story. That is a discussion that should go further on in another episode. As for the boss coming barely in first, that could change since, again, these are just the estimates for the weekend, and the boss only won by $45,000. Am I surprised that the boss won? No. Batman v Superman has been falling fast. Audiences don't seem to like it. Critics hated it. There was a small but vocal minority that was trying to say that Batman v Superman was the best film out there and that all the critics were wrong. But as with every vocal minority, they were the minority. People have shown with their money that the film wasn't that great. It's already made over $500 million, and it's probably $500 million, and it might even make it to $1 billion worldwide. So it's not going to lose money for WB. It may not even get them thinking about Justice League changes. What will be important is Suicide Squad when it comes out. If it does really, really well and ends up having a higher longevity than Batman v Superman, then we may see some changes in the DC schedule. But until then, nothing is going to change, at least with the money that they've made now. All right, so that does it for my Monday episode. This has been A Slice of Bacon with Matt Bacon, and I hope you have a wonderful Monday. See you Wednesday.